South Africa was a much safer place during lockdown. That's the word from our police minister, Bheki Cele, today releasing the crime stats for the first 3 months of lockdown. Now, those numbers point to a sharp drop in violent crime. Let's get some perspective. Reporter Michael Marilia joining us once again. So, Mike, the minister released the annual crime stats about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We saw murder, rape climbing, but today, a little bit of good news. Started with the quarterly results, and the first quarter happened to be in the midst of lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely, Sally. So these numbers basically running from the 1st of April to the 30th of June, and that was smack bang in the middle of that lockdown period. So an interesting dipstick, if you like, in terms of how tighter restrictions can actually affect the fight against crime. But let's focus on the numbers, Sally, and we'll put them in perspective for you. So murder down almost 36% during those 3 months. That's really, really encouraging, given that we saw murder climbing during the previous year, the 2019-2020 year. Attempted murder also down almost 24%, Sally. Assault with intent to perform grievous bodily harm, more than 40% down during the period. So all of these contact crimes tend to head down during the lockdown. Robbery with aggravating circumstances, 39.5%. Of course, a lot of South Africans really terrified of being the victim of that particular crime. And this one is interesting, Sally. We saw the rape case numbers down almost 41%. Also, sexual assault falling roughly 36%. Of course, we know we are in the midst of a pandemic when it comes to gender-based violence, but we need to tread a little bit carefully when it comes to these numbers. The police minister is saying that he's concerned many women felt trapped in their homes during lockdown. They didn't feel comfortable going out and reporting cases of abuse or domestic violence. So he says they'll have to double-check these particular numbers. Let's listen to what the minister had to say earlier today.
These official figures also show a reduction in crimes committed against women and children during stage 4 and 5 of the lockdown. However, the low numbers of domestic abuse and sexual offences reported cases could have been due to some women not being able to escape their abusers and could not report crimes committed against them. In this regard, the SAPS will continue to monitor the reporting of such cases and verify whether the reduction was as a result of non-reporting due to the lockdown. This will be done by comparing the dates reporting with the dates of which the crime was committed.
And of course, Sally, we will get the crime stats, next quarter's crime stats, in a few months' time. So we should get some clarity when it comes to the sexual offences crimes during the lockdown. That's the advantage of getting these figures every few months. You are able to make sense of it much more than when you just get them once a year.
And it's something researchers and people who work on policy for policing have been calling for years. So it really is to be welcomed.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Michael Marilia.